Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and a lot of you guys have requested this video, so that's why I'm doing this video. Shout out to the Soul Squad. If you guys have any requests for videos, just DM me on Instagram and I try to get through all of them, but I have a lot, so sorry if I don't get to you. So anyways, this video is top shoes for ankle support, and sadly I don't want to sound like an old guy. Well, I guess I am kind of old. I'm getting up there, but anyways, they don't make them like they used to, you know what I mean? If you guys remember, this is the UA Dry 4. Look at that, there's some dust in it. Yeah, I had to kind of like go inside the vault and get these shoes out. It was kind of hard, I didn't even know where they were. But anyways, this is the UA Dry 4. Look at that. You guys remember this shoe? Look at how high it comes up. This material is, I mean, it moves a little bit, but it gives good ankle support. I mean, the restriction in ankle mobility from the UA Dry 4 was really good. Of course, I believe they made a low version if I remember correctly, but the high version offered very good ankle support. You guys remember this shoe? It's an all black colorway and all that. And then next, I believe this was the Under Armour Clutch Fit Highlight or something like that. Look at the clutch fit material. It's like super yellowed here in the back. It's very old shoe, but look at that. Crazy high, and this had really good ankle support as well. So basically what I'm saying is modern shoes don't really have high tops like this, you know. I mean, kind of, but not really. First of all, they don't really restrict ankle movement that much just because the material is a little bit softer. And of course, I guess that is a good thing because when you're playing basketball, you don't really want to have a lot of ankle movement restriction, just because when you're jumping and landing and stuff like that, you want to have absorption of energy in your Achilles and also in your calf. And if you don't have good mobility in your ankle, all that force and all that energy when you're landing and also jumping is put on your knees. And of course that's not good, and you can tear something. And if you don't like rehab or like strengthen, like do squats or whatever, then that can definitely be a problem if you're an athlete, right? So that's why in the modern era there's a whole lot of low top shoes, and it was pretty hard for me to make this list. There wasn't a lot of shoes with first of all, there's no shoes right now that I could find that have ankle support as good as these, right? So when I say good ankle support, these shoes are what I mean. And all of these shoes on this list are basically like, they're pretty good. They restrict ankle movement a little bit, but not as much as these, right? And of course, you guys can always wear an ankle brace and stuff like that. And most ankle braces fit in shoes, so you shouldn't have a problem with that. But let's get started off with the Li-Ning Ushuai 15. So again, it is a pretty high top shoe, but the material is pretty thin and it doesn't restrict ankle movement that much. Of course, comparing it to like a low top, you know, there is a little bit of ankle movement restriction. And if you're looking for a little bit of ankle support, then the Ushuai 15 is a good option. But again, like I said, not as good as these shoes right here, right? Next, we got the New Balance Kawaii. The Kawaii actually has pretty good ankle support. It is kind of like a high top slash mid top. It goes over the ankle bone, and that material is pretty damn stiff. The only problem I had with the shoe was that, you know, as you guys all know, the Achilles part here, it would just dig into my Achilles, and I hated it so much. It bothered the hell out of me. So that's why I can't play it. But of course, if you don't have any issues with that, it should restrict your ankle movement a good amount. So the Kawaii is a pretty good option for ankle support. Next, we got the Anta Kt7. The Kt7 is a very high top shoe, and I would say is probably the best for ankle support on this entire list. I mean, it's a very high top shoe. The material is on the stiffer side of things, and it does restrict ankle movement a little bit, especially when you're tying the last couple eyelets super tight. So the Kt7 is a very good option, I would say. Not as good as these, of course, like I said, but on this list, it's probably one of the best. All right, next we got the Li-Ning CJ1, or the CJ McCollum shoe. It's pretty much a high top shoe, and it covers the ankle bone. It's not crazy good. I would say it's around like the Ushuai 15 ankle support, where it's like you still get pretty good ankle mobility, but it restricts your ankle movement just a little bit so that it's a little bit better than the low top. So yeah, the CJ1 is a pretty good option. Next, we got the Zoom GT Jump, which I got right over here, and it is a very high top shoe. Look at that. I don't know what it is though, like for some reason I can still move my ankle a good amount in the shoe. Like I put this shoe on and tried moving my ankle versus the UA Dry 4, and the UA Dry 4 just seemed like it provided a lot more support and also restriction in the movement of ankle, especially rolling this way. Comparing it to the Zoom GT Jump, I don't know why. It doesn't seem like that much thinner and softer as far as this material goes. And obviously it's just as high, so I don't understand what it is. But the Zoom GT Jump, I mean, it still has good ankle support, right? Especially comparing it to like the Ushuai 15 or the CJ1. So I would say it's more on the the better side of things for ankle support for all the shoes on this list, but still not as good as like the UA Dry 4 and definitely not the Highlight. So but anyways, yeah, the Zoom GT Jump, it's coming out soon. It's on the Nike website. It says coming soon, so hopefully it's coming soon. But yeah, the Zoom GT Jump does provide pretty good ankle support. All right, next we got the Lebron 19. So as you guys can see, this goes up very, very high on the ankle, but it's super thin and pretty flimsy. And no matter how tight I tighten the laces here for the last couple of eyelets, I still had pretty good ankle movement. I mean, like, obviously not as good as like just a low top, but it was still pretty easy to move my ankle for me personally. So I definitely wouldn't say it's like as good as the GT Jump, or definitely not the UA Dry 4 or the Highlight. But if you want a little bit of that kind of like ankle support, then the Lebron 19 will provide that. But like I said, it's definitely not amazing. All right, next we got the Adidas D Rose 1.5 Resto Mod, long name. It is a mid-top slash high top shoe, and that material also is pretty thin and flimsy. So like I had good ankle mobility, I would say. So basically what I'm saying is the Lebron 19 and D Rose 1.5 is probably kind of like on the worst side of things for ankle support. So if you want like crazy good ankle support, you should probably stay away from those shoes. But the D Rose 1.5, you still like get that material kind of like covering your ankle bone and restricting ankle movement just a tiny bit. But for the most part, I feel like for me, when I was playing it, I had pretty good ankle movement. So take that with a grain of salt. And of course, like I said, modern shoes nowadays are low tops just because you don't want that restriction in ankle movement. And also what they discovered is, for example, here in the Curry 9, for example, it's a very, very wide base, right? And if you have a wide base, you're less likely to roll your ankle. Like if you think about it, if you have a very narrow base, you know, maybe like, I don't know, if you're on high heels, like if you're high off the ground and you have a narrow base, you're more likely to roll your ankle, right? The lower you are to the ground and also the wider the base is, the less likely you are to roll your ankle, right? And also high tops don't really prevent you from rolling your ankle that much. I mean, it'll save you from like a very minor ankle sprain, but if you're gonna step on someone's foot and really, really roll it, there's really nothing you can do, and it's gonna be like a pretty bad ankle sprain, right? But anyways, I'm gonna give you guys some recommendations for shoes that have very good lateral stability, and of course, the Curry 9 is a very, very good example of that, although it obviously is a low top. So it doesn't restrict ankle movement that much, but the lateral stability is very good. So you should be fine with the Curry 9. Also, another shoe that has very good lateral stability is the Trae Young 1. It's a super wide base and you're low to the ground in the forefoot. So the Trae Young 1, you should be fine in that shoe as well. Next, we got the KD14. The KD14, low to the ground and also very, very wide base. And these are some examples. Like I said, there's a lot of shoes that are low tops that have very wide bases. So I'm not saying these are the best or these are the only shoes that have good lateral stability. These are just some examples just because there's just so many, right? Next, we got the All City 9. You know, the leaning All City 9, super wide base, you're low to the ground, and also the leaning Speed 8 Premium is a very good option as well. Very wide base, you're low to the ground in the forefoot. So my recommendation for you guys is, of course, if you're fresh off an ankle sprain, you probably want ankle support, but you should, of course, rehab it and try to strengthen the muscles and tendons around there. And once you got all of that strengthened up, I would just suggest playing in a low top just to save your knees and your body and stuff like that. But that's, of course, that's just in my opinion. Consult your doctors and ask them what you guys should do. But anyways, that about concludes this video. If you guys do want to get any of these shoes, I try to leave an affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.